आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम। नगर नगर ये ग्राम और ये गलियारे, भरने इनमें नवजीवन के उजियारे। नगर नगर ये ग्राम और ये गलियारे, भरने इनमें नवजीवन के उजियारे। बार बार हम दोहराते हैं यही कसम, यही कसम, यही कसम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम। हमें हटाना घर घर से अंधियारा है, हमें तोड़नी पाखंडों की धारा है। हमें हटाना घर घर से अंधियारा है, हमें तोड़नी पाखंडों की धारा है। सच को कहने वाली चलती रहे कलम, चलती रहे कलम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम। कदम मिलाकर नर नारी सब और बढ़े, ज्ञान और विज्ञान नए सोपान चढ़े। कदम मिलाकर नर नारी सब और बढ़े, ज्ञान और विज्ञान नए सोपान चढ़े। देना है संदेश यही हमको हरदम, यही हमको हरदम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम।
All India PR conference is attended by PR, corporate communication professionals, HR, CSR, and media practitioners, academicians, and students of mass communications. They keep looking for this event. Once again, welcome on this virtual platform of second segment of the conference, Public Relation Forum. Challenges and opportunities for PR consultancies in post-COVID era. Our first speaker in this segment is bright PR practitioner who's equally competent in academics, Mr. Bhaskar Majumdar, Head Corporate Affairs, Communications and Digital Agassiz India Consulting Engineer Private Limited, Gurgaon. He speaks on communicating the value of PR, what every PR should know. Mr. Bhaskar Majumdar is a multifaceted brand management expert who has led reputation management for leading brands, a strategic planner with more than 2 decades of experience in managing multiple projects campaigns, who has ability to understand business objectives, map out relevant target audience, planning strategic communication campaigns which fits the business objective. Mr. Majumdar has worked with Reliance Industries as GM, Corporate Communication, ESPN Start Sports as Manager Corporate Communication, and has worked with reputed communication agencies like APCO Worldwide, Genesis PR, CMCG, Vaishnavi Corporate Communications, and AdFactors PR. I present to you Mr. Bhaskar Majumdar.
Hi everyone, my name is Bhaskar Majumdar. I head Corporate Affairs, Communication, CSR and Digital for a French engineering consulting firm called Aegis. I've got total 22 years of experience and I've worked with Reliance Industries as General Manager and with ESPN Star Sports as Manager Corporate Communication. In this today's session, I'm going to take you through a small presentation on the current scenario of PR consultancies in a post-COVID era. I hope the presentation is visible. So as I said, this session is more on the communication industry and the new trends, and also the changing role of PR consultancies. So public relation as an industry has come into existence almost three decades back. I mean, although there is no written things about when exactly it started, but this is what I have heard from my seniors and being in that industry for almost 22 years. In earlier days, the industry is to be more focused and based on the relationship with the journalist, and more and more stress is to be given that how much news articles you can give, and everything was based on relationship. But over the years, as the industry has evolved, now we have got a more strategic approach in starting from creating that strategic narrative to creating the right messaging, the time frame when exactly you have to do to identify the right target audience, and what are the best possible ways to have a particular outreach to be done. So as I said, public relation industry since the very beginning, it started on the basis of relationships, or rather media relationships, and all success parameters is to be defined on the relationships you have. But nowadays, especially in last 10 years of time, and especially in the last 2 years time, after unfortunate event like COVID has hit us hard, things have changed. Now COVID has fast forwarded the adaptation of digital transformation. And it has got a huge impact how the PR industry, it actually works. Not that in earlier times, digital transformation was not there, but due to COVID, because of a lot of things got impacted, especially the way news used to be consumed earlier has completely changed. Like someone like me, I always, used to believe to start the day with a cup of coffee and with 7 to 8 hard copies of the newsprints. But during COVID time, it was unfortunate the vendors were not being able to give the print newspapers, and I had to rely more on the digital format of the news. So slowly the consumption of news has become more digital during the lockdown time. And someone like me also as a professional now, I still read my newspapers, but I still go through the online news of various media platforms. Because print news has its own shelf life, and in digital format, 24 hours is there is scope for new news. So that is how the things have changed from pre-COVID era to post-COVID era, or during the COVID era, because of the unavailability of a lot of things, and also because of the lockdown. And also in recent times, I've seen that social media has turned into helpline for multiple people. I have seen people in social media asking for help for either for medical help or availability of medicine, or availability of oxygen in that case. And a lot of people have actually responded. And I have seen digitally people are connected and trying to help each other. So in earlier times, the thought of social media or digital used to be that, it's more of, posting some things in Facebook and Instagram only. But during COVID time, we've actually seen that, digital or social media platforms have actually become useful tools for people who are in need. And also there is a huge shift or radical shift because of the availability of data. So thanks to Geo, thanks to Airtel, thanks to Vodafone, now availability of data is much more easier than earlier. A lot of analytics are there. I mean, if you're in social media, if you're posting something, or if you're running a campaign, there are multiple analytics through which you can actually see the impact or the reach or what section of people you're actually reaching out to. So analytics is another big thing. Third, the wider reach of internet. I mean, I still remember 7 to 8 years back, in tier two, tier three cities, availability of network was always been an issue. But now, I mean, I think there is a much more wider reach of internet. And also the another major and key factor will be the growth of smartphones. You know, 7 to 8 years back, there used to be a very smaller section of people who can afford smartphones. But now with all these multiple companies who are coming up with smartphones which are affordable. A normal smartphone, if someone have to afford, it can be in between 6 to 8 thousand. So availability of data, analytics, wider reach of internet, and also growth of smartphones have actually helped the digital transformation to happen. And it has got a huge impact on the PR industry on the whole. So for me, when I say communication can be media, communication can be advertising, communication can be PR. Because I think these are the three different platforms to reach out to a wider target audience. Like in media, if a journalist is filing a story, I'm sure he's trying this medium to reach out to the audience for a particular story. In advertising, also advertising professionals, they reach out to the different stakeholders through various campaigns. Same in PR. I mean, there are different tools in PR through which the PR professional is trying to reach out to different stakeholders. So when I say communication, I consider media, which is journalism, advertising, and PR, all on the whole are different forms of communication. With digital media and social media increasingly become a de facto choice for content consumers, there has been a paradigm shift in the role of PR professionals and corporate communication experts too. Similarly, the role of PR consultancies has also changed a lot. Earlier PR consultancies used to be more concerned about what kind of media coverage, what kind of wider media coverage they're doing, or getting for the coverage for the client. But nowadays, I mean, I think the kind of bouquet the PR agency has to offer has to go much beyond a normal media relation, right? So now it's more of strategy-centric approach and omni-channel integrated one approach, because to reach out to your stakeholders, the traditional ways of reaching out, which was via the traditional media, is no longer the only tool to reach out. There are multiple other ways to reach out to, especially digital and social. And also the role of corporate communication or role of consultancies have also changed, because there are multiple other ways of reaching out to different stakeholders, which I'm going to take through during this course of presentation. Also, it largely depends on brands, services, products, what kind of products or what kind of services different brands have to decide that what kind of media mix one should have. For a B2B company, the stakeholder may be very different. For a B2C company, the stakeholders may be very different. And reaching out to different stakeholders, there are different types of tools to be used. But largely, in a post-COVID era, I have seen that the tilt towards digital or social is more rather than traditional. Traditional will never lose its relevance because it's always there. But I think slowly the shift towards digital is becoming more. There can be multiple reasons. Digital media is more real time, it's instant, it's more engaging. It can be creatively adopted. Like in older times, whenever someone is trying to pitch for a story, and if he's lucky, and if his story is compelling enough for a media publication to carry, the scope of getting covered can be only through text, maybe a logo, maybe a picture, at the max a graph, not beyond that. But in digital platform, you can have a creative, you can have a small video. The video can be creatively adopted. The content can be very much different. So in terms of creativity, I think the scope is much more in digital and social media platforms. Now for peer consultancies, I think in last 1.5 years time, things have changed. As I said, that starting from the old ways of media relation, now there are multiple other ways and multiple other avenues where peer consultancies can actually give their consultancy to the brands. Like internal communication has become a major aspect. Efficient employee engagement, digital social outreach, as I said earlier, creatives, especially videos. CSR, earlier, it used to be how to communicate best CSR practices of a particular brand. But nowadays, I think corporate communication as well as PR consultancies are actually involved in either building up the concept, planning, and also in the execution part of the CSR. Apart from doing the amplification either digitally or the traditional way. Investor relationships is a listed company, then again it's a added thing for the consultancies to look into. That's another avenue to explore. Public affairs and policy, especially for companies which are working in a regulated environment, I think policy research is very much important. Secondary research about the brand and its competitor, brand audit, like companies like AC Nielsen and others, they do multiple brand audits. Media dipstick, although media dipsticks used to happen earlier also, but now it has become more sophisticated, more scientific way of getting the analytics to be done. So in earlier times, as I said, corporate communication as well as PR consultancies used to be more into media relationship and how to garner the better coverage in terms of the client's visibility in traditional media. But now internal communication, employee engagement, digital social, CSR, investor relationship, policy, secondary research, media research, there are multiple other things which also have been added on. Especially during COVID time, a lot of the brands have actually struggled to connect with the employees, and there was an environment of uncertainty, and this uncertainty was not because of job. The uncertainty can be because of age old parents at home, maybe because of age old in-laws at home, maybe because of the small kids, if the medicine or medical healthcare or oxygen will be available or not, if the medicines are available on time. So these are all kind of different uncertainties which is to be in the mind of the employees. And as a brand, it was very much important that brand should connect with the employees and help as much as they can to take out this uncertainty. So during COVID time, we have learned that internal communication or employee engagement is as critical, as crucial as external communication. And I think that is something which PR consultancies also have to master in, because nowadays the requirement for different brands is not only the media relation part, it's also multiple other things, as I have explained in this slide. Given the scenarios, I think the current situation demands that PR consultancy should be equipped to handle all these multiple, brackets to cater to the client. Because now, if a client is actually, hiring a particular agency, that will be obviously basis what kind of, media relation or traditional media outreach they can do. But apart from that, they will also require help in designing internal communication, ideas of internal communication or employee engagement, how to do investor relationship in a better way, how to do research in a far better way, what are the kind of different ways of understanding what kind of policies are going to impact the company or the brand. So I think the scope for consultancies have become much larger than it used to be earlier. Influencing the influencer. I think as I have spoken it in my earlier slides. Nowadays, the firms or traditional PR agencies also have to understand what are the different strategies they have to adopt to help the brand to work in a better way in the new normal. As someone says, change is the only constant, and change is beneficial when it keeps pace at altering times. And as we all know, it's one of the biggest game changers. So with changing times, the services of PR consultancies also have to change, right? Like social media. Social media is very important because it allows you to reach, nurture, and engage with your target audience, no matter what their location is. So for digital and social media, it has gone beyond geographies. It has gone beyond timelines. If I tweet something, someone sitting in US, irrespective of the time, can actually reply. So social media has given you or allowed you to reach out to a larger audience. You can have better relationship through engagement digitally, and you can engage with your target audience in a much better way. So consultancies in nowadays have to offer those services so that the client is better equipped to target and engage, and also to build up a better relationship with all the stakeholders. Now, one of the part of reaching out or engaging digitally is something which is short videos. And while working with my current company, I've seen that even in social or in digital, the way short videos work, I think that is the best way to reach out to people, because it has to be creative, it has to be catchy, and it has to have some kind of brand essence so that people get glued onto that particular outreach. And short videos generally should not be more than say 40 to 50 seconds. And the initial 8 to 10 seconds is the crucial one, because unless someone is interested in those 8 to 10 seconds, it's very difficult to engage them for a larger time. So what are the different ways to do? One, crafting a better title, crafting a better tagline, use of hashtags, and that is very much critical, and tagging also relevant people so that the engagement and the reach becomes much more engaging, and it makes sense for the brand to reach out to those people. Creating a strategic narrative, which is more of storytelling, a right target audience and right messaging is critical. It's like it's not going to change. Like content targeting the right audience and right messaging. I think it's going to be same as earlier. Maybe the platform, the tools can be different. Choosing the right platform, timing is also very important. And finally, engagement and analytics, because unless you understand how much you're going to engage with which section of the people and what are the analytics are showing you, if the engagement is fruitful or if there is course correction is required, that can be only understand when there are better analytics tools available. Now, as I said, communication is changing, and now public relations has become a blend of earned, paid, and owed, and shared media. And digital and social is taking the larger part of it. And it is becoming an integral type of campaign planning, which nowadays, which every brand is going forward. So in broader ways, there are 4 or 5 pointers which actually is required for either the corporate communication guy or the consultancies to understand and engage for the betterment or beneficial for the brand. One is earned media. Earned media is largely print, online. When I say online, online is the print versions of the online version of the print newspapers. Third-party influencers, webinars, or virtual event participation as knowledge partners. You must have seen that there are multiple virtual sessions which are happening where a PwC or a KPMG or EY is coming as a knowledge partner. So that is another way of getting or participated in a particular event where you get your own visibility. Second is shared media. Shared media I talked about is more of social media campaigns. What you're doing in Twitter, what you're doing in LinkedIn. Not necessarily that every brand will do campaigns for Facebook or LinkedIn. B2B companies will be more interested, and it will be more beneficial for them for getting engaging with their stakeholders either in LinkedIn or Twitter. Whereas a B2C company, especially FMCG company, will use either Facebook or Instagram. I'm not saying that they will not use LinkedIn and Twitter, but the usage will be more on Facebook and Insta compared to LinkedIn and Twitter. Third is own media. Own media is more of the company website, blog, newsletters. So there's a huge scope for the PR consultancies to get into. Slowly, I've seen a lot of PR agencies who are actually offering their services to build up a website or customizing a website according to the need of the brand and how, if there's different ways to reach out to the stakeholders. Also blogs. Now blogs can be two different ways. One, blogs can be by celebrity blogs or people who are the industry experts. Now there is another scope that you can have blogs on your website also, which is kind of your own platform where you can talk about your own work, right? So this is another scope for the PR consultants to get into, either website or blog, or also drafting newsletters. Now, I think almost every big agency is capable of building up newsletters for their client. Finally, paid media, which is key opinion leaders, bloggers, influencers, YouTubers. Now, for any brand with the corporate communication team, it's very difficult to engage with that larger audience. Now, that I think is a huge scope for PR consultants to get into. And I know for a fact that there are multiple PR agencies, not during COVID time, even before COVID time, they used to handle KOLs or bloggers or influencers or YouTubers on behalf of the brand, right? But slowly in a post-COVID era, I think that scope will be at a larger scale. And if a agency has to operate in the new normal, I think these services will become very critical for them, for the brands to come and work with them. So as I said, the work will be more of blend. It's a blend of earned, paid, and owned and shared media. And slowly, consultancies has to build up their capacity. Otherwise, it will be very difficult, because nowadays I don't think that brands are planning to have multiple agencies to do multiple work, but rather they will rely on a particular agency which can offer them multiple services. So I think that's a very big scope for all the PR consultancies who are operating now, irrespective of smaller or bigger. I think This kind of services they have to offer for the client to be in a better position to use whatever the services they want to. The age old work of media relation, it will still be there. I mean, it's not going to go away, but with that there will be a lot of added things which the PR consultancies can actually offer. As in my previous slide, as I have explained, corporate communication has become a multi-specialty outreach, right? Internal communication, employee engagement, digital, CSR, public affairs, secondary research, brand audit, media logistics. These are all critical part of corporate communication nowadays. And if a PR agency has to service a particular brand, they're going to work with the corporate communication team. They have to have some understanding and some in-house capabilities to cater to these services. Internal communication, as I said, it has become very critical, especially in a post-COVID era. As someone has said that we are all in survival mode. Business and everyone linked to businesses both are critical. And when I say anyone who's linked to business, the first choice would be the internal audience, which is the employees, right? So post-lockdown, the importance of internal communication and engagement has increased multifold. Mental health has become a important or critical part for every brand to think of. So brand nowadays, they need to be more flexible, patient, and understanding with all the stakeholders, especially employees. Communication, especially internally, has to be transparent, empathetic, proactive, and consistent. Any communication, any engagement, if it's not consistent, it loses its relevance. Hence, meaningful, consistent engagement with internal audience is key for all brands. And I think digital or social medium is going to help in a big way. So this is another very big arena where PR consultancies can actually, build up or ramp up their, internal capabilities to cater to the client's need. Way forward, in today's world, communication professionals are tech savvy, trend savvy, but they have to be more tech savvy, more trend focused. Because nowadays, the line is blurring in between traditional outreach, video production, event development, brand marketing, media buying, as well as content creation and influencer strategies. To give you an example, in earlier times, a PR consultancy used to, draft a author article for the client or the client spokesperson. Nowadays, there is a new thing which is called new age content creation. New age content creation is not very different. It's like creating the same author article of 700, 800 words if it's going to a print newspaper or daily newspaper, or maybe 1200 words if it's going to a business magazine. The content remains the same, but now the content has to be created in such a way that that content can be broken down, say 500 words for a LinkedIn post, or maybe for a blog, or multiple tweets can be actually, created out of it, or maybe certain creatives or short videos can be created out of it. So in the new normal, I think new age content creation is very much critical, and PR consultancies has to ramp up their services, and they have to offer those kind of services also to different brands to be relevant in the market. Gone are the days when online press releases and other things used to be. Now tweets, LinkedIn posts, Facebook posts, YouTube videos, Insta Live, Twitter chat. These are very, very important for every brand to reach out to their stakeholders, be it internal, be it external. Internal, obviously, it helps a lot because of the lockdown, because of social distancing. Most of the brands doesn't have 100% attendance in office, and somehow they have to start some kind of mechanism that so that there is a constant engagement with all the employees, and not only with the employees, it's also going beyond the normal employees and engaging with their family also. Like, I'll give you an example. In my current company, we started virtual yoga, and all of a sudden I saw that one of my colleague, he attends the yoga sessions almost every time we organize it, but he's not very active in doing yoga. So often I just asked him, he said, virtual yoga for me has got another relevance, that during lockdown I'm not being able to go to office, but due to virtual sessions I can actually see my friends, colleagues in the same session. So for me, it's more than yoga, it's more of connecting with my colleagues in a different platform. Another colleague actually asked me that, during these yoga sessions, can my wife or mother-in-law can join? And suddenly I understood that through this digital connect, I'm actually reaching out not only to the employee, also reaching out to the larger audience, that is family. And unless you engage with everyone and create a positive environment for the company and the brand, it's very difficult to have a productive, environment for any brand. And these are things which PR consultancies in the new normal has to understand. And they have to customize their services so that all these services can be, dovetailed and give in a customized way to different, brands. And also, I think the understanding of social and digital is also very critical for PA consultancies because, especially in social, there are multiple tools, and each tool has its own limitations and importance. And it's very important for the new age content strategy to understand how, when, and what are the best ways of engaging in these tools for their brands or for their clients. So the thrust for content will be always there. It has to be authentic. It has to be adaptable in different tools, as I said in my earlier talk. And also, technology will continue to rule even more than before. And as the primary tool for PR practitioners, this includes digital marketing or multiple other ways of engaging with the stakeholders. So these are huge scope of to offer different type of services for the PR consultancies. And I'm very happy that I've been given the opportunity to share my thoughts. And as I said at the beginning of my session, that the scope for PR consultancies have increased multifold. And now in the new normal, I think PR agencies has to ramp up their services, and they have to build up in-house capabilities to cater to the different needs of the brand, depending on what kind of brand it is. If they have to be relevant, if they have to be competitive enough with other agencies, I think offerings in all the services has to be there. And it has to move from a normal PR agency to a consultancy which offers 360-degree offerings for the brand to work out with. Thanks a lot. And thanks a lot, Ajit ji, for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your insightful presentation, Mr. Bhaskar. Our next speaker is Mr. Aseem Sood, CEO, Impact Research and Measurement Private Limited, Director and Fellow AMEC, New Delhi. Established in early 2004, Impact Research and Measurement is the pioneer and a leader in offering media research, media monitoring, and measurement services in India. The company helps over 200 leading Indian and transactional companies achieve their communication goals by empowering them with an in-depth secondary market research, media intelligence, media analytics, and competitive benchmarking. In recent times, ongoing global economic instability has put pressure on corporate budgets. Thus, there is an ever-increasing pressure of marketeers, public relations, and communication professionals to prove return on investments. Understanding all this, Impact Research and Measurement designs programs keeping these realities in mind. Here is Mr. Aseem Sood, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this session on communicating the value of public relations. In this session, we'll talk about things that every PR professional should know when it comes to measuring communication. But first, I would like to thank the Public Relations Society of India for inviting me to speak at the 43rd Public Relations event. I remember speaking at a public relations event organized by PRSI several years ago, and thanks to them for inviting me again. My name is Aseem Sood. I am the CEO of Impact Research and Measurement, a firm that does monitoring and analysis of communication for corporates in India. I also represent an industry association called AMEC, the Association for Measurement and Evaluation of Communication. I am a board director and a fellow at AMEC. This year is also our 25th anniversary at AMEC. So I welcome you to join the anniversary celebrations that we have in the form of knowledge and education events that we are having all over the world. At AMEC, we have two main focus areas. One, we work on developing new knowledge in the field of communications measurement. And two, we work on educating our partners, clients, PR practitioners all around the world. In November every year, we organize something called AMIC Measurement Month. This month is full of education activities and events which are organized by different members across the globe, and all these events are free to attend. I encourage you all to go to the AMIC website and look at the events that we had this year. You may still be able to catch many of these events on demand. We also run AMIC certification courses as a part of AMIC College. These courses help PR professionals get up to speed on the latest trends and developments in the field of communications measurement. In today's session, I plan to share 4 things with you. I believe every PR practitioner should know about these if you wish to showcase the value of public relations work to your CEO, your chairman, or the board. The first is Barcelona Principles. You may have heard of Barcelona Principles. In 2010, we had our annual AMIC Summit in Barcelona. We have one summit every year wherein we all get together and talk about various things around measurement. At this summit in 2010, we had more than 60 countries represented at the summit. This included practitioners of communications measurement, practitioners of public relations. We had all set our eyes on one thing, which is setting principles for our industry. If you look at any other professional discipline like chartered accountants, cost and work accountants, management consultants, all of them have a code of conduct, basic principles that everybody follows. And we felt that measurement community also needed similar principles. So over a period of 3 days, we deliberated on a lot of things around principles and finally came up with 7 principles that we believe everybody should follow with respect to communications measurement. Today, Barcelona Principles are in its 3rd iteration. They set the floor for every PR professional when it comes to communications measurement. I encourage you all to look up these principles and try and test whether the campaign that you're running is compliant with these Barcelona Principles. In Asian countries, one of the challenges that we see is prevalence of advertising value equivalence. I'm very happy to share that the usage of AVE has gone down drastically, not just in India, but all parts of the world. And if you look at principle number 5, it clearly states that AVEs are not the value of communication. Similarly, other principles also set the groundwork so that you are able to do better communications measurement. The second thing I would like to share with you is a tool called Measurement Maturity Mapper. It's a tool that is available online. It's a tool that helps you assess how good is your measurement program. We work with a number of companies. We help them measure the impact of their communication efforts. Many a times, our clients come back to us and ask us a question. They say, Asim, you work with so many companies. Can you tell us if our communication measurement program is as good as the best in the industry? Is somebody doing something better than what we do? What can we learn? What more can we do? At AMIC, we realized that I'm not the only one who's asked such a question. All our practitioners in different parts of the world were getting asked similar questions. So we created this tool called Measurement Maturity Mapper, which helps you assess where does your measurement program stand. The link to access this tool is www.amicorg.com/m3. If you go to this link, it will take you the page dedicated to Measurement Maturity Mapper. It will ask you to register yourself. And the way this tool works is that it will present you with a questionnaire. As you answer these questions, your answers are going to help this tool assess the maturity of your measurement program. And these questions are very simple questions. They start by looking at what kind of organization do you represent. It will go on to ask questions about how you use reporting and media activities. And your answers help the tool assess how good is your measurement program in comparison to the industry that you're operating in. The tool doesn't stop there. It also tells you what are the next few things that you can do to take your measurement campaign to the next level. I encourage you all to try this tool. It's again available for free to anybody who wants to use it. Any data that you enter here is confidential. Nobody has access to that data. So please use this tool and see how good is your measurement campaign currently. The third tip that I have for you is about using the integrated evaluation framework, which is a planning framework developed by AMEC. The integrated evaluation framework, as the name suggests, it's a framework, and it forces you to think, prioritize, and articulate every aspect of your communications program. The starting point is organizational objectives. What you see in red here, you start with the organizational objectives. You articulate your communication objectives in such a way that they align with the organizational objectives. In orange, in this section, you capture the inputs that you have available with you based on past research and understanding the target audience, the strategic approach that you're going to take. In the green section, you list all the activities that you have planned for implementing your campaign. And the IAF encourages you to list activities from the earned, owned, social, as well as the paid domain in an integrated fashion. Next, we move into the blue section, and this section is all about measurement. It talks about outputs, outtakes, and outcomes. This is where we identify the right measures that we're going to be using for measuring the campaign. And the final section is in purple, wherein we link the entire campaign and the measures and help show the value that it brings to the organization. The IAF is available as an interactive tool on the AMEC website. It is free to use. You don't need AMEC's permission. You don't need to inform AMEC. All you have to do is go to the amecorg.com website, click on the framework, and start using it. It's available in over 20 languages currently. Once you click on the framework, it'll request you for a login. You need to register and create an account for yourself before you can start using the framework. And this is required because when you're working on your own campaign, there could be a lot of confidential information that you will add to the campaign. And we wanted to make sure that only you as an account owner have access to your data. Nobody at AMEC or its members or anybody else can access your data, which is there inside this account. Once you log in, you are greeted by a page which tells you which all frameworks you have already created for different clients. In this case, I'm going to click on client C in India in green color here. And once I click over there, it brings up this screen, which has the same boxes that I showed you in the circular form earlier. starting with box number 1, objectives, and right up till box number 7, which is organizational impact. So when I click on box number 1, it asks me 2 questions. It says, first, can you please tell me what are the overall objectives of your organization? And this is where communication professionals typically write down those objectives which are shared by their CEOs. If your CEO comes and asks you, this is what I need communications teams help in, you write that objective here in this box. In the second box, you convert the objective, which is a business organizational objective, you convert that into your own communication objective. In the example here, I've taken a very simple example wherein the CEO says, I need your help in building our client, C, the company, as preferred employer in India. And how we have converted that into a comms objective is by writing, help establish client C as a preferred employer in India in 18 months by creating and placing content which resonates with professionals in the logistics segment in the 4 southern states. Initially, it may look very simple, but I can promise you that basis our experience, articulating your objectives smartly is the most difficult part of the integrated evaluation framework. Once you've written these objectives, you move on to the second box, which is inputs, where you list the target audience that you have and any other strategic inputs that you have basis past research or the knowledge that you have. Next, you move to the green box, box number 3 on activities. And this allows you to list down all the activities that you have planned. And these activities may not just be earned activities, they could be paid, shared, or owned as well. Next, we move to the outputs box. And this is where we start getting into new territory, identifying measures. And for each of the activities that we have listed in the green box, we now get an opportunity to list output measures for each of those activities. Now, this is where you may need some help. And if you notice this eye in a circle, if you click on this eye, it will start giving you suggestions on what kind of outputs you can include. You can click on, for further information, click here and it will take you to a larger guide which gives you a list of all the measures which are possible for different kinds of activities. So this is how you use the interactive tool on the AMEC website. Login. To log in, you need to create an account. Once you've created the account and logged in, you start writing the objectives, inputs, activities, outputs, and so on. And once you've completed the entire exercise, you are able to see a page that looks like this, which lists all the inputs that you've added on one page. And the fourth tip that I have for you is to consider using the latest tools and features that are available from media monitoring and analysis providers. These days, all PR practitioners are looking at an integrated approach to communication. And this approach is integrated at many levels. They focus on print publications, online portals, social media, Twitter, television, and the tools allow you to look at all these in an integrated fashion. For example, here is a chart which is integrating content from print, online, and Twitter. The first column on the left is telling us how are we doing in the print media, what is our share of voice compared to that of the competition. The second column is showing similar metrics but only for the online medium, and the third column is showing similar measurement for Twitter. Similarly, Any news that is monitored for you is now available to be delivered to you as WhatsApp alerts. And please note, in this service like this, you only get relevant articles, only those articles wherein you are mentioned or your competitors are mentioned, and they are delivered to you via the WhatsApp channel. Another example is dashboards. There are a lot of dashboards available these days, offered by many companies. And these dashboards allow you to look at insights from all the media that has been monitored in one place. It also allows you to slice and dice the data and do scenario generation to understand the media better. We call them news consumption dashboards because they allow you to look at large amount of data and understand what it means for you and your company. We would also encourage you to start using mobile apps which are made available these days. These mobile apps allow you to access your content again in an integrated fashion from print, online, Twitter, or television in one app. This way, you get to the new relevant news which may require your intervention as soon as it is published. I thank you for attending this presentation, and I also hope that you found it useful. If you have any questions or suggestions for me, you are welcome to write to me on Twitter at Asim Sood, or you can send me an email at asood@impactmeasurement.co.in. I once again thank the Public Relations Society of India for this opportunity and wish you all the best for your event. Have a wonderful event.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Asim Sood, for your very enlightening presentation. Apart from skills, investing in technology is paramount for survival for any PR agency. This is the subject of our next speaker. Mr. Satyen Bhatt will be discussing more on this. Mr. Satyen Bhatt is Managing Director of Prism PR, Chennai. Satyen Bhatt is current chairman of PRSI Chennai chapter and is the founding managing director of Prism PR, the first agency to be launched in Chennai in April 1994. A gold medalist in PR from the Madras University, he has around 40 years of experience into communications, 12 years with newspapers and 28 years with Prism. Loves to teach and shares his vast experience with students. Also a very active member of the Rotary Club of Madras. His better half, Ms. Parul, is also the co-founder and the author of a coffee table book. They combine to give the client the best in terms of strategy and way forward. Ladies and gentlemen, present to you Mr. Satyen Bhatt.
Hello friends, this is Satyen Bhatt speaking to you from Luxembourg, Europe. It's a pleasure to share with all of you my thoughts and experience on how PR has changed in the last 4 decades. But before that, I think I must thank the President, Dr. Ajit Pathak, for ensuring that this year also we have a conference, albeit virtual, and making sure that every member gets an opportunity to participate. So once again, friends, it is a privilege and pleasure to talk to all of you, professionals drawn from different parts of the country and the world, PRSI members, my own members from the Chennai chapter, and just to inform everyone that I am currently the Chennai chapter chairman and also the managing director of Prism Public Relations India, which was the first PR agency that was launched in Chennai in 1994 April. We've had a long and good run, and many things we have learned many things we have to unlearn. So the challenge before us is how are we going to face the future with technology surrounding us on all fronts. The last 4 decades have seen a dramatic change in the way the PR function has evolved and changed. It has become a necessity for every PR practitioner, every PR agency to adopt and improve. The topic for the discussion given to me by Dr. Ajit Pathak is, apart from skills, technology needs to be understood and taken advantage of to survive in this market which is full of confusion at the moment and at the same time very challenging. All of you know that every business in the last 3 to 4 years has gone tumbling down or has had a very negative impact, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is services, whether it is banking and finance. The common man has been hit in such a way because of COVID, and yet we are not clear what is going to be the future. With this, even the media was impacted tremendously. What used to be a 20-page daily issue, whether it was the Hindu or the Times of India, is now reduced to 50%, 12 pages, 14 pages. Only on some special occasions it is back to its normal. So when this is the situation, it is all the more challenging and important that PR practitioners, whose basic principle of work is to ensure communications and tell the world what the company is doing, what are the various new objects the company is following, and also making sure that every target group is impacted. The technology factor comes into play very much because, like skilled labor, even though India boasts of a huge population of over 1.3 billion, it is common sense that we are unable to get good quality material for doing any job anywhere in any kind of activity. Therefore, technology is the need of the hour. If it is bridged, it will help, and then of course the skilled manpower will come in very handy. Only these two factors combined together with the foresight and consistency will ensure that the PR function performs well within the companies and the PR agencies are able to sustain and grow. Friends, like we've discussed, let's analyze what COVID has done to the communication industry and in particular to the public relations practitioners within and without. You know, today the captains of industry are classifying their business strategies as BC before COVID and AC after COVID. Not that COVID has gone away, but still the way discussion about COVID in the boardrooms is such. And all of us know, like in the late 90s 90s when tsunami hit Chennai in particular or south, nobody was familiar with the word tsunami, or maybe a minuscule percentage. But after that, tsunami became so well known. Much in the same way, COVID has introduced us to many new words which hitherto were used in a different context. Like when we say unprecedented today, it has a different connotation altogether about the virus spreading rapidly. Then we have the frequently used word which is called the new normal, which grammatically the Englishman would have laughed at us a few years ago. We have social distancing. We have work from home. We have wearing a mask, which was supposed to be very negative in a few years back. We have contact tracing, which is again a technical word to track people with infection. Isolation. People are kept in isolation. And flattening the curve, which was again a very economic usage, is now used for reducing the number of COVID patients or those infected with COVID. Quarantine, self-isolation, all this have become buzzwords now, so to say. So in these circumstances, PR must not only sharpen the blade, like they say, if you have 8 hours to cut a tree, spend 6 hours in sharpening the blade. Of course, today we cannot sharpen the blade, we will be hauled up by various agencies, but just to put it in context, that we need to prepare. There are huge challenges, like Churchill once said, whenever there is a great calamity, look out for that huge opportunity. Yes, COVID has not been very positive. It has washed away millions of businesses. Millions further have succumbed to the disease. And smaller and medium enterprises have suffered the most. But look at India with 1.3 billion plus people. Still, we are better than most of the advanced countries whom even today are struggling. Look at UK, even now, Omicron is rampant there, and the country has virtually closed its doors and requesting people to be extremely cautious and careful. We must also, PR practitioners must help our companies or the organizations we work for to understand and take advantage of the expertise we have within ourselves so that we can advise them and our counsel will be valuable to their growth. Here, I would like to step aside and say that apart from COVID, the other factor which has really made a dramatic impact on our lives is social media. I remember in the early 80s when I was working with Times of India and then Times London, everything was different. The fax machine played an important role, and between offices we had the printer which took the messages from Madras to Bombay or Delhi and vice versa. Then came the fax machines, and in the early 90s when Hotmail was introduced by our Indian and Microsoft took it over, the gradual but rapid change in technology happened. No longer was it relevant. Those fax machines and things became obsolete. The messaging became quicker. You could send and receive messages from across the world, from anywhere. And then came the mobile onslaught. Now, recently when I was talking at another forum, another expert there said that in the next 5 years, less than 5 years, 95% of the business carried out will be only on the mobile. The mobile phone will become so important in our lives that without it, and it's natural. See, before we used to remember telephone numbers because we used to be careful and somehow make a practice of remembering it. Today, even our own kith and kin's number, we are unable to remember, but we have to log into the phone, and then if anybody asks for it or you want to send out a message, then you have to do it by the click of a button. So, if this is the situation, if we don't prepare ourselves for embracing the future, and like I said, technology together with our own focus, which PR brings in a big way, and the combination that today journalism has also embraced social media has given PR the cutting edge. I'm sure all of us must have had a tough time dealing with journalists whom for some strange reason thought we are a different kind of an animal and never wanted to really take us along with them. Yes, there have been cases where people have not given the proper guidance or given information, but most of us, I'm sure, we know what we are doing, and when we interact with journalists, we are careful to give them correct, reliable, and if need be, make them accessible to the top management, which is a critical role for PR. Now, what does really PR do? I mean, all of us know that PR really builds trust. It is a very important crisis management. It is now going along with social media and digital marketing to give a cutting edge to brands, to make it so interactive with the target group that today PR is being called upon by many companies, big and small, because they realize the value. We are cost effective. Small budgets can create a multi-dimensional approach, and therefore we need to constantly improve our technology, because like in management they say, anything that gets measured gets done. So while using social media, while using all the forums available to us to spread the word of our clients, whether it is launching a new brand, communicating with the employees, communicating with the government, communicating with the focus groups, and here again a new brand of influencers have arrived. They could be bloggers, vloggers, whatever, and these influencers today can also be taken advantage by PR experts or agencies, so that like all roads leads to Rome, the company gets the maximum benefit of the communication which it wants to communicate to its target group. We will now touch upon the real tools which are going to be very critical and absolutely essential for every agency, whether it is big, small, because please remember that there are huge startups who are all mushrooming across India, and we have the world's highest youth population. While I am presenting this to you, I must say that my daughter, who lives in Luxembourg, hasn't got any interest in reading a newspaper. In fact, here or in any developed nation, all the information is either available on the phone at the click of a button or through the various other media, social media practices which today everybody is embracing. The newspaper definitely has lost a lot of ground, and they are also adapting by going digital. So if the whole industry is changing, the communication industry is changing, the client is changing its tact, the newspaper industry is changing, the government has changed. You can know how Twitter is today getting the information right from the Prime Minister's office. So we need to really look at it in a very, very objective and focused manner, without which we will all be in sideline. Remember, this is a great opportunity whereby advertising budgets have been slashed, and ad guys always used to look down upon the communication professionals, thinking that they knew more than us. But here is an opportunity where we can correlate with them, go along with them, so that they don't feel left out and the client gets maximum value. So let us look at the various touch points, so to stay in a strategy which is going to be the future of PR tomorrow. Like I was telling you, let us, in my closing remarks, while I summarize, let me tell you that what is going to be of paramount importance to the PR industry is understanding artificial intelligence and big data analytics. This is crucial and very, very important because it will take you to your customer or your audience without wastage. Yes, anything new has challenges, will have a lot of criticisms. Like I remember when in the late 70s and early 80s, when India started its computerization program, particularly in the airlines, there was a lot of hue and cry that huge amount of people will lose their jobs, but nothing such has happened. But look at today, in your mobile phone, all of us are there, we search for some data, and subsequently, even without us searching for it, information pours out about the subject, whether it could be about a local restaurant, it could be about any new product, or anything else which is of interest to the consumer. So, if that is the case, we need to really take advantage of it. Yes, digital media through the social media has made a tremendous impact, and if we as PR practitioners need to really understand and make sure that our strategy takes full cognizance of the ability of these different aspects and stitches a strategy which at the end of the day will produce the best results for the clients. You must appreciate the fact that today we cannot rule out using the digital media, the social media in fact. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these have to be used to their fullest capabilities. I am sure and I know for certain that not many agencies are doing that. So here is an opportunity for us to really get going and making the best use of the media mix by encapsulating all the availability of the strengths of digital marketing. I'm sure the clients will appreciate that, and it will also become a feather in our cap, because unlike a few years ago where PR was only pure play PR, we were concerned with the target audience, which was the high network individuals, the decision makers, the A group, because the newspapers catered to most of them. Today, it is completely different. The social media encompasses everybody from A to Z. So, and the speed, and today people want information at the touch of a button. If something happens, they can't wait till tomorrow morning to know what happens, like used to happen in the earlier days. So therefore, speed, understanding technology, making sure that your information does not get lost in the avalanche of information which is processed. We need to really move fast, understand the tomorrow, and look at it like by word of mouth. Alexa, you say, and there is things happening inside the house. Now, all this is artificial intelligence. I am aware that the Washington Post and AP are using artificial intelligence for some of their basic programs, so that time is not lost and there is still accuracy. It will be well our while for us to slowly start adapting all these technologies and make the best, so that the time which we save, the mundane activities which will be taken care of by automation and the likes of artificial intelligence, can be used to strategize further, make the money stretch to its maximum. We must work for tomorrow. We must ensure that our staff, whoever joins us, is trained in the techniques and knowledge which will help us to understand the subject better, make public relations practitioners get the recognition they deserve by giving the client, giving all our associates the latest in terms of information, the latest in terms of sharing of technology and addressing issues which were earlier thought of only in some other activity. We must integrate. Yes, we have seen integration happen in the past, but this integration is going to be different because it is of high technology infusion into our regular activity. Only this kind of a strategy whereby we use all the tools available will get us recognition, and the clients will also feel satisfied. But I must caution that while on one hand technology has made it so easy and instant gratification is what the public require or are interested in, we must be careful that we don't get carried away and false information is prevalent, as all of us know. So you must make sure that we don't get into that trap. Furthermore, PR is based on the truth and nothing but the truth. Therefore, whatever we do, we must ensure that we don't move off the basic fundamental principles of our discipline. And again, it is a human relationship factor. So while everything is getting into technology, we mustn't forget that feel, the touch and feel of the human being is also very important for us. We need to communicate constantly, we need to be in touch, we need to show that while we are advancing, we are still using the human feelings in the way it was done earlier, because only this will endure us to all the audiences which we embrace in our day-to-day activities, whether it is inside or outside. And therefore, it is very, very crucial, and we need to clearly map our growth and strategy in such a way that by doing so we not only move ahead in technology but take all the folks along with us through passion and perseverance. I would like to conclude by quoting the great Apple founder who said, Steve Jobs said that you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can connect them looking backwards, so that you have the trust that the dots will connect somehow in your future. You have to trust in something. Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. The approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life. This is what he said, and we all know what a great company he has set up and left behind for generations to follow and understand. So let's all of us embrace technology for the benefit of mankind. Thank you very much. Once again, I'd like to thank our President, Dr. Ajit Pathak, for this opportunity. And while I'm talking from miles away, it has been a pleasure getting my act together by doing brainstorming in the cold weathers of Europe and sharing my thoughts and my experiences with you. Trust you will appreciate and understand what I have shared with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Satyen Bhatt, for your nice presentation. Now we take a break for lunch and again join at 4 p.m. for the second segment of the conference on media.